Welcome to another edition of Len's Burning Bush. I am Len Harvey. Before I bring on my guest for the week, I want to talk about what's really burning my bush. It's that time of the year again where neighborhoods, subdivisions, whatever you want to call it, feel like they are never satisfied with where Halloween falls on the calendar. Yes, Halloween is always October 31st, and most neighborhoods have trick-or-treating scheduled between 6 and 8. Yes, scheduled from 6 to 8 on the 31st, which seems to have worked for my area for the last 20 years or so. But every year there is always someone who wants to move Halloween to another day if it doesn't fall on a good time for them, or if it's going to rain, if there's something. There's always that neighborhood group page. Oh, can we move Halloween because we've got to move it because the kids aren't going to get a chance, they're going to get wet, or whatever. Now, we all love our Halloween parties, which you can have on any day, right? Halloween parties could be the day before, could be a couple of days, but trick-or-treating really should only be on the day that it's supposed to be, and that is October 31st. Now, I know I am all for moving certain things, like the Super Bowl to Saturday, which is obvious reasons, and we even did an episode on that on February the 6th. But Halloween is Halloween, and we can't make everything perfect for the kids. We can try, but it is never going to be perfect. Heck, when I was a kid, when Moses parted the Red Sea back then, trick-or-treating was all day. So, it wasn't limited. You'd go out at 3:30 in the afternoon. It would be till like 9 o'clock. Now it's limited. So let's just leave it where it is. Stop posting on your neighborhood page and try to change it because, you want it on a better day. It's just not going to happen. Hand out your candy. Be happy in this pandemic that we can still do it. Leave your front porch light on, and as long as you're willing to accept the trick-or-treaters when the curfew hits, or until you at least run out of candy. We can't move every holiday to like the Monday so that everybody can have it the weekend to kind of play around and have a long weekend. Just worry about giving out good candy and be thankful that we're still doing this. With that being said, it's time to bring on my guest for the week. She is making her second appearance. She last appeared on February 6th as the Super Saturday episode. She is the very talented Emmy-nominated TV host, currently of A&E's Sell This House, and also now a new show, Smart Home Nation, on FYI. She's a DIY expert and keynote speaker. Let's welcome Tanya Memme to Len's Burning Bush. And Tanya, thank you so much for joining. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me. I love your intro and what you were ranting about because I couldn't agree with you more. I'm sitting there going, yes, I totally agree with you.
Are you part of a neighborhood group page? Because I can't stand
100%. 100%. Yes. It's very interesting. I find it like a sociological study.
Yes. But everybody, what I find interesting is they ask things on this page, and couldn't you have just Googled it? Like, perfect example.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In my page, they asked, when's trick-or-treating this year? Now, where we live in the county sets that up, and it's never changed. It's been 6 to 8 every Halloween. It never changes. And I looked it up, and sure enough, the county has a website. I looked it up, and I posted, instead of being a jerk, normally I would kind of probably put something like, you should have looked it up, or no, I don't want to make her feel bad, but I went ahead and said, hey, it's, here's the web page. It says it's 6 to 8 on Halloween. I didn't say it's been like that for
I didn't even know
years.
It was 6 to 8. Like, I didn't know that there were actual a time limit. Like, it starts here and starts there.
Well,
but I remember, like you, the days you start at 3 and you go to like 8 or 9, then it's done. And if anybody wants to move it to a weekend because it's too late or whatever, then their kids are too old. Like, the little kids have to be in bed by a certain time anyway. Like, my daughter's 10, so I don't want her out at like 10 o'clock at night.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay. Just to have them early.
The only thing I wanted changed, I wanted it, and they finally did a good job with this, is we used to do the time change the weekend before Halloween. And now we've moved it to the weekend after, which I don't even know why we'd still change the clocks anyway. Just leave it one way or another.
Oh, you're talking about the actual time change.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, sorry about that. What happens is they used to have where they turn the clocks, they fall back, and they would,
Right.
right, and it would always be dark at like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
You're right.
So I don't understand the logic behind that. So they finally fixed that, and then you got people still bitching and moaning about whether or not it's 6 to 8, or let's do it because Halloween doesn't fall when I like it. Because the 31st is Sunday. I don't want to do it on a weeknight or.
No, it has to be on the 31st. Can you imagine all the disorganization and misinformation and the kids?
Yeah.
Like there's no other way.
No.
There's too many people that are doing it, and it has to be on the 31st. It can't be any other way. And
No.
if it's on a school night, it's on a school night. Have your kids finish up by 8.
Right, 6 to 8 is not a big deal. I mean, these kids go to bed.
not.
I mean, name one kid that goes to bed at 8 o'clock. Let's be honest. Come on.
My daughter doesn't. She's 10, but and you don't even have to start. I mean, honestly, I'm ready by 5.
Yeah.
4:30. There's kids that show up during the day that are asking for candy sometimes. I mean, it's cute.
What
I
is your,
find it.
speaking of candy? What is your favorite Halloween candy? Because there's a lot of good stuff. Do you like chocolate? Are you a chocolate?
I love chocolate.
Me
Love
too.
chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have so many. I'm a chocolate and popcorn freak, but popcorn, I'm very picky about that. Halloween popcorn's not it. But no, I think Reese's peanut butter cups are.
Oh, that is my favorite. That is actually my favorite. I didn't even plan this. That is my favorite. I am a peanut butter and chocolate fan. I just love the way peanut butter. Do you ever have the the Nutty Buddies, or the Little Debbie has the Nutty Buddies or something?
Yes.
Yes. You put those in the freezer, by the way. That is fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you take it out, and it's like, oh my God, it's fantastic. But Reese's peanut butter cups are my favorite.
Well, you don't have my actual favorite here in the U.S. though. They're Smarties. Do you know what Smarties?
Yes.
Smarties are. I'm from Canada. They're chocolate.
Little Smarties. Okay. No, I did not know that then, because I
Right.
was thinking of the Smarties. Yeah, no. Okay. So I don't know. Yeah. So Smarties chocolate. Okay. Can we get that?
It's candy coated chocolate.
Okay.
You can get them here in specialty stores, but they're from Cadbury, and they're so good.
Oh my God.
They're the best. So that's my ultimate favorite. But here in the U.S., it's Reese's peanut butter cups.
Well, Cadbury is another, amazing thing. The Cadbury. Remember the Cadbury eggs? The Cadbury.
Yeah. Oh, those are so, you can't even keep me away from those.
I love that.
But it's not the ones with the gooey stuff.
Yeah.
I love that. But the ones with the shell on the little ones.
Yes.
I mean, Cadbury chocolate is like, you can't get better than Cadbury chocolate, even though it's like one of the lesser, pricey ones. It's the best, more inexpensive chocolate out there. Let's just be real.
Agreed. Now, who do you you obviously got to take your daughter around still, I would imagine. So you don't hand out candy, right? You're not handing out candy? Or do you have somebody?
I don't know what we're going to do. We're in a new neighborhood this year. It's a new house. I don't know. I decorated the whole front of our house to let kids know that we're here. But yeah, I'm taking my daughter out. Maybe we'll have somebody here giving it out. But I don't know what it's going to. I don't think we're going to get a lot. We live on a hill, so I don't think I'm going to get too many trick or treaters.
Poor kids huffing and puffing up and down the hill to see Tanya. Where's my candy? You're gonna have to.
I don't think we're in a prime trick or treating location.
No.
But.
Well, we are on flat ground where we are, and we have a bunch of people. And what we used to do is, I used to bring my kids out, and they're older now, so I don't have to do this anymore. But I would actually what I tried to do is give beer out to the people. Like I'd bring a cooler, a small cooler, and I'd wheel it around. And if my daughter got tired or my son, they would go on the cooler, because you can wheel them around. After they got tired walking around.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't even think
So
of that.
you bring the alcohol, the beer, and I hand out beer, because the parents always look disheveled. Just trying, it's funny because I do that now. I'll actually sit on the porch now, and I see the disheveled parents just, oh my God, they're bringing the kids around. They're wheeling one, they're carrying one on their arm.
So true. And they're all done up for Halloween, and they hated every minute of it.
And I just said, hey, would you like a beer? And they go, oh yes, please. So instead of candy for the adults, I give out the beer. So that's.
I never thought of that, to do that. Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because it's you see people, and it's funny when before you have children. Before what you thought was disgusting before is not disgusting, right? So you just don't even realize, like people say, they always say, well, if I have kids, I'm not going to, now you just wipe somebody's nose. It's never a big deal. Like you have kids and everything becomes But you see these parents, and they're just like, women who had all dolled up, and then after they're with their kids, their hair's a mess, and you feel so bad for them because they're
So
just
bad.
chasing.
That's like me in the morning
Yeah.
getting my kid to school on time. It's the same thing.
It's exhausting. I totally get it. If they would have told everybody how exhausting parenting is, it's they never tell you the real story, right? The real story of parenting. It's wonderful.
No.
It's wonderful about 85% of the time, and the other 15% is when you want to take
brutal.
your eye out with a pickaxe.
You want to take your eye out of your eye socket
Exactly.
and squish it.
Yes.
I know.
Well, but it's the truth, and I don't mean to be mean, but I just want to give people who haven't had children, they think everything is just so beautiful, and I talk about disgusting. I mean, diapers and just I don't even want to go through that. I know eventually I'll be a grandparent, but I have to probably do it again. But I mean, come on, do you want to start changing diapers again? I mean,
No, I'm too old honestly, I'm in the second half of my life now.
Yeah.
So it's like,
when you turn 30, it's just terrible.
I'm not 30. I wish I was 30. I'd do anything
me
to
too.
be 30 again.
I always like to say when I was, if I would known I was going to live this long, I would have taken a lot better care of myself. But anyway.
I do wish I had more than one kid, though. Like I have Ava, and I do wish I had more than one. I always wanted 3, but my life just didn't go that way. I was too much of a career person. I had her at 40. And so, it's hard having them older too. It's tough.
Yeah, I was a little younger. I was a little younger than you, but definitely older. It's kind of funny. When my son was born, I was 32. So certainly not, young, not
That's
old.
the perfect age.
Yeah. And
Perfect.
what I found was kind of interesting, though, when I coached baseball, I was on the older side of all the parents.
At 32?
Well, no, they were 30. I was 37 by the time they were 5. My son was 5.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Playing baseball. But it was, as they got older, there were a lot of people that were, young 20s and just having kids. And we just didn't do that. It's kind of 30, 32 or 40. It's just, but you find yourself now, you're just more tired. Like,
Oh.
yeah. So
Just unbelievable. I don't know if it's an LA thing, but a lot of the parents here are older, so I don't really see that discrepancy so much here. It's very interesting.
yeah, it is.
Anyway.
Well, you've got a new show, Smart Home Nation.
I do.
And I loved it because one of the
Did
things.
you see it?
Yes,
Did you watch it?
I did watch.
Yeah.
I got to watch one episode in particular, and now I recorded a bunch more, and I didn't get a chance to watch all of them. But
That's okay. I haven't seen them all either.
yeah, okay, good. Well, the one episode I watched, and it was fantastic, was the 2 doctors that owned the home that was $40 million. There was one home that was $40 million.
Yes,
And I couldn't get
43.
past that. It was $43
$43
million. It was, but what the key for me was $170-something thousand a month. And I had to stop. I actually looked see what it would cost on a mortgage. Like I actually looked it up, and it was about even at like 2 or 3%, it was like $190,000 a month. And I'm out. I'm sorry, Tanya, I'm out. But it was.
No, I was out a long time
Yeah.
ago. I just came up with the show idea. I didn't.
No,
That's as far as I'm getting it towards.
Well, I figured
I
figured as much, but I just enjoyed it thoroughly because I love all those gadgets and
It's a great show. Like it really is, and it's the out of all the home design shows out there, and there's a lot. Like, 'cause there's like
I don't
so
watch
many
any that don't have you in it, so it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
thanks. I try to make it fun, but this really is the first and only home design show that has home tech in it. Like that's what it's about. And that's what we focus on. And it's not like when people hear of home tech, it's interesting because I got feedback from the network and they're like, well, we definitely have a younger demographic watching the show, and FYI is like more of an older demographic, and they're trying to get a younger demographic, but it means less people watching it. And the unfortunate thing is I think when people hear home tech, they get completely freaked out by it. People that are the older demographic, but it's not like there's so many cool things that, okay, yeah, $43 million house, but there's so many things you can bring into your own home that are so much less expensive than you think it is, or you can get another version of it, or it doesn't have to be like built into the walls. It can be, you can retrofit your house in certain ways.
I would love it.
Unbelievable what I've learned is out there and what you can actually bring into the average house as well. I love the show. It's so awesome. And thanks for watching it. It's a fast moving show. You have like home design, you've got home tech, you've got some DIYs, showing you how to do it in your own house, lots and lots of information. It's great.
Well, I love it because I mean most people are somewhat tech savvy because we're always on our damn phones. But even still, everything is in your house now. I mean, your refrigerator, you can have a refrigerator now that is connected to Wi-Fi, and does it. Which I would see. This is what I would like. So we need to design this. These are the things I think about. We need to have where when it gets low on milk, it just orders it, but it actually doesn't only order the milk, but it gets it and then puts it in the refrigerator for you. See, nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
It's like when you get your groceries. Do you want to? The worst part of any grocery trip is to actually put the stuff in the cart, put it in your car, and then put it away at home, right? So if you get it delivered, you still got to put it away. So I want somebody to put it
away.
I want somebody
Unless you have somebody putting it away for you, which is the case in a $43 million.
Well, I would think so, but anyway, everybody's got the Nest, and you've got I've got a thermostat now where it's got Alexa built in, and we do our shopping list. We yell into the thermostat and say, "Hey, can you put something on your shopping list?" Because
there's so much easy tech out there, just like what you're saying, that people don't realize even exists. Yeah. And that's the fun thing. And what is the difference between Google and Alexa, and which one is better for your household, and which one has more features that you like? But your idea with the refrigerator, where if something's low, like if your milk is low and then it orders it, that we are 3 seconds away from that happening. I'm not saying picking the stuff up from the front door, but your refrigerator very soon, because it has all the other steps, it's already connected to Wi-Fi. There's a show that we did where it actually, you can see through, like there's a glass that you can see through into the fridge, but in it's a weird, like a touch screen thing. Yeah. It's this amazing thing. It's like 3D. It's just moments away from being able to know what's low and reorder it for you. Like it's probably already in existence.
Oh, agreed. I think that it is. The one concern I would have is we have too many. I don't know about your house, which I'm sure you're like me. We've got 27 devices in our house that are connected to Wi-Fi. And
at least
20, right? You got phones, we got kids and they got laptops, and we do this, and you got to have 300 meg internet, otherwise you're not if you don't have high speed internet, and I don't want to talk about 30 meg, it's got to be 300.
I know. Well, we did a whole, Verizon is the most incredible company. Honestly, they sponsored our show this year, and we were just so thankful. And they introduced us to the reason why we had them on the show is because they have their 5G network coming out, and it's pretty cool stuff. I gotta say, and it's not in the home; it's everywhere you go with your phone. It follows you. It's really cool. So.
I don't know about you, but did you get I didn't get the 13. I upgraded finally from the 8 to the 12, and
I'm getting the 13. I don't have it yet.
And I've got the 5G now on. I don't have Verizon. I have T-Mobile, but I find it's so much faster already. It's just so much better.
It's so much faster. Yeah, T-Mobile's great too. So. Yeah. But they're bringing it into the home. Verizon is bringing it into the home now, which I don't think T-Mobile is doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's new technology. It's good just to know what's out there and have your different options. But
so how can we consume this show? I know it's on FYI. I can't even.
It's okay.
Yeah, sorry, FYI. I have the channel on Dish, so I watch it.
Yeah. So, you have it on Dish. Okay.
It's Dish Network.
That's one way. So Dish Network has FYI. You're saying many. Okay. So also, I watch it on Pluto. Not on Pluto, but there's Pluto and there's Hulu. So Pluto and Hulu are also places in which you can get FYI.
Okay.
But with Hulu, you have to upgrade it. There's the upgraded package. But there's different. So FYI had the exclusive release of the show. And so that's happened now. And so the next time it airs, we're having another huge release on Crackle. So if you research Crackle's going to have I think a worldwide release. So this is going to be much, it's going to be really cool to see what happens with the show. But you're going to be able to see it in Canada and other countries and things like that. Now, where I have to do my own research and find out exactly where Crackle, what other platforms you can get Crackle on. But as far as I know, there's many places in which you're going to be able to see it. But it hasn't come out yet on Crackle, but it's coming out in a couple of months.
Well, Crackle, it's interesting you brought up Crackle. It was where Jerry Seinfeld, I think, started with comedians in cars getting coffee, which I don't know if you've seen that show.
I have. It's awesome.
It's kind of
Crackle's pretty big. It's great.
Yeah, I've got it on Roku, so I buy Roku-enabled televisions because it's such an easy platform, and to get my family to change to another platform, it's a nightmare. So I don't want to be the IT guy in the house. I want to make it as simple as we can. So I try to. So when I got the Roku built in, I have every TV is kind of the same, right? You just go, you got the same remote, and you walk around and you can watch whatever you want. And we've got, I pay for Dish Network, but we also have Hulu and Netflix and all these other things.
Yeah, and you're still paying less than what regular, cable is back in the day.
Agreed. Yeah, it's kind of nice. And then you got to go to the company, your cable company, to get the deal for the internet. Like you have to cancel and then get the whole thing after 2 years and then come back. You
got to be on top of it. That's the thing that get you.
It really is. But your other show has always been my favorite, Sell This House. I love the way you reorganize, you redesign, and get these houses that have been sitting on the market. Now, the market has been so good. Have you noticed a downtick, like in terms of people still with their ugly houses or the houses that are dirty, they're not going to sell regardless, right?
So it's very interesting. People ask me that question all the time. Our show, as you know, is all about staging and presenting your house in the best way possible to get the most money. So whether it's in a horrible market or a great market, it still works either way. Staging is a formula, and it for sure works. So even if it's a hot market, you can still get more money for whatever the price of your house is. Like, it is such a huge, remarkable difference. And there is no shortage of houses that need to be staged and cleaned up and redesigned and reorganized in this country and in many, in the world.
Well, I'm waiting for you to come to my house.
Shortage.
I'm waiting for you to come. Now, we're not leaving. I think I'm staying here, but we still need to reorganize and redesign.
Yeah, so do I. Look, me too. Trust me. If I was selling my house, I would have to have the whole crew come in here and redo it. So I'm in there with everybody.
Yeah.
But like, there are just, everybody has their way of living, and they never see their own way of living. They just think it's normal. Like, it's unbelievable what people don't see. And then when we come in as a crew, we see it like right off the bat, because I'm just so attuned to it. Like, I can walk into a house and say, you got to do this, that, this, that. Like, I've become a staging expert now, and I can give a lot of advice very quickly. And it's just very interesting. I think we have like at 80% or 85%, we've sold the houses for more money, which is fantastic. And the only reason why, truly, and I mean this sincerely, like, the show is not fake. And the only reason why the other houses didn't sell is because they pulled it off the market, or when we thought that they were going to be selling their house, they knew they weren't, and we redid it anyways, and they really weren't selling their house. And so that's always tough. So we're getting, really strict with who we have on the show or not, because if we don't sell the house at the end of the day, it doesn't look that good on the show, right? So we've run into that problem where they're not really selling their house, so they pull it off the market, or they don't put it on. I mean, it's a whole thing. So, but when we come in and we stage it and reorganize it, especially in a hot market, the house will sell.
Yeah, and I love the way it's done. I mean, it really, in this past season, you were in Atlanta. And then before that, where were you? I can't remember now.
We were in Chicago before that. We've had 2 seasons. The show's different. We used to travel. We were in a different city every 2 weeks. Like, we would, and we did 48 episodes a year. Now we're down to 20 episodes a year, and we stay in one city because of COVID and because of regulations, and just financially, our entertainment business just doesn't have the money like it used to. That's just different now, right? So we're trying to get, like, everybody's wearing 25 hats and, making less money.
Well, yes. Yes, that is the case, and everybody wants to do things.
Ellen Pompeo on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, less money. So anyway. So Sell This House. You've got two seasons that are back now. You had about close to 10 seasons before, right, of the show?
Yeah. We had 10 seasons. We started in 2001. We were on the air for 10 years, and then we went off the air for 7 years. We were off the air. And I just out of the blue got the most amazing phone call of my life. And from one of the heads of the network, and said, "We want to bring the show back and we can't do it without you." And, and I had been out of work for 5 years too during that time. So, because I had quit a show that I was on prior to that, because there was just certain things I can't work for a company that I don't feel like I'm truly myself, or if there's an environment created that I can't, that I don't agree with or whatever. I don't care how much money or what network it is. And so, I ended up walking off set and I was out of work for 5 years. And then 5 years later, I get this call from A&E saying, "We want you back on the network." And it was not on A&E. The show I quit was not on A&E at all, or FYI. So it was, but, I have to say, I'm just so proud of, we're working for that company, because I know many of the executives personally, and it's a really wonderful, wonderful place to work. And the people behind it are incredible.
Well, a great manager, a great person that owns a network or whatever, if they don't let you be yourself, then they're not doing anything good. Because what makes the show is not only the show is, good to get people to sell the house, but it's you. It's like the way you do it, the way you interact with the people. That is what gets people to keep watching. So if they don't let you be you, then those are not good managers anyway. So that's the way, it has to be. If, let you do you, and then, make a couple of tweaks here and there, but
they're very supportive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
it's interesting. It's a wonderful culture over there.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw, but Ryan Reynolds is taking a little bit of sabbatical. He was on social media and he said that he is going to, he's been kind of working on films and everything and singing and dancing and all these things that he's been doing. But now he said it's a perfect time for a little sabbatical from movie making. So no movies with Ryan Reynolds coming out after. It's, I guess, like we were talking off the air about how tired we get, or even, this, Ryan Reynolds can even get tired as well.
Well, Ryan Reynolds could take a sabbatical for 5 years and he'll still have 10 movie offers, so he can take a sabbatical. It's not going to matter.
Exactly.
Who doesn't love Ryan Reynolds? Like, who doesn't love him? He's amazing, so.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I think Ryan Reynolds is great.
Love him.
Any shows that you have been binge watching? Because I'm sure people want to know, like, what shows Tanya recommends, because I want to find out.
I got a good one, and I'm still not through it, but I'm so addicted. Is Schitt's Creek.
Oh, my wife has been watching that.
Oh, why aren't you watching it?
I started watching a couple of episodes, and I haven't really. I like it, but I just haven't gone through it.
It's interesting because it's the kind of show, and this is true for for most people that have watched it, it's so theatrical, okay? And you tell me what you think. Like the first couple of episodes, you're like, oh, I don't know. It's so over the top humor. It's fake. It's this. And it is that. That show, you think, should be on a stage. It's very theatrical, right? Like these actors should be, if you give it time and you give it like 4 or 5 episodes, there's a switch that happens. And it just pulls on those heartstrings, and it ends up just winning you over every time. That's why it became. But everybody who's a huge fan of the show, most people I've spoken to, felt the same way. And some people just, stopped watching it. But the people that give it a chance, it's, yeah.
Well,
amazing show.
I will give it a chance. It's not that I didn't like it. I do like it. I like Eugene Levy. I do like the concept of the show. It's very funny. I think I laughed out loud a few times. And any show that can make me laugh out loud is a good show right off the bat. But similar, I wanted to bring up the show Succession. I don't know if you've seen that on HBO.
I haven't seen it.
All right. Well, there's been 2 seasons. You need to go back. They just started the 3rd season on Sunday. And so Succession is one of those, again, that you will need to get through. The first 2 episodes are tough.
Okay.
They're tough to get through. But once you get through that, you will love it. I mean, it is, I guess, Brian Cox and everybody that's in it. You got Macaulay Culkin's brothers in it. And you got it's just a great cast. They are amazing. Sarah Smoot, I think is her name. Sarah Smoot, the redhead. I can't remember, but she's in it, and I love it. I haven't watched the first episode yet of the new season, but 2 seasons, brilliant show. It's about a media.
There's so much good stuff out
Oh,
there.
it's about a media mogul family that.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's all the stuff you want. Like if you were to,
Okay.
fall behind. So that's one. The other show, I don't know if you got a chance to see the Ozarks yet.
Yes, Ozark.
Love it. Ozark is tremendous. It is coming back January
I
21st.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
My boyfriend does the post production on that show. So
Whoa, look at that.
yeah. Well, it's his company's Arsenal FX, and they do all like the color correction and all kinds of different things. And he works on that show. So I'm always like, is it coming back? Is it coming back? So
Jason Bateman and Laura Linney are fantastic in that show. I mean, and there's
Well,
Jason
Jason Bateman is my Hollywood crush. He has been my Hollywood crush for 10 years, if not longer.
Well,
I love Jason Bateman. I just think he's so everything. And I don't get starstruck, but if I saw Jason Bateman, I might be starstruck.
look at you.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that interesting?
Yes,
love him.
that is very interesting because I still remember Jason Bateman in his first show. When it's like It's Your Move or something like that on it was like when he was in his teenage years. He played with the guy from Married with Children. I can't remember, but I think It's Your Move is like the first show. And of course, Arrested Development and other.
Yes.
He was also in the show with Valerie Harper, The Harpers, right? Was it something like that?
Well, I knew him more as a movie actor because I used to go I would always watch his movies than his TV series.
Yes.
But it's because of him that I started watching Ozark, and because anything that he's amazing. He's like this average guy, but not average at all. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, not at all.
No, he's not. But Laura Linney is fantastic too. So I would be on the Laura Linney bandwagon. But
Okay,
Jason,
all right.
Jason's okay. I mean, nothing against either one. I like both of them. But that's so Jason Bateman, I'm sure. And the movie with that he was in where she steals the credit card. I can't think of the name of it now. Identity Thief.
Oh,
Did you ever see that? That's with.
is that an old movie, right?
What's that?
That's an older movie, right?
It is. It's about probably
I've
7
seen it.
years old, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
They all run together. Melissa McCarthy was in it with him.
Oh, love her too.
That's a funny movie. She steals his identity, and they just become.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that movie. That's great. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
movie. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it.
Now, another show that's coming back, Curb Your Enthusiasm, is coming back.
Yes.
One of my favorite. Pretty good.
Pretty.
Now, were you a Seinfeld fan, or were you kind of did you like it a lot, or were you just because I want to know because
I love Seinfeld, and I have a little story about Seinfeld.
Well, go ahead, tell. Feel free.
When I was living in New York, his manager. This is when I was in my 20s. His manager was going to set us up with a date.
Whoa.
Yeah, I almost got to go on a date with Seinfeld. Wouldn't that have been interesting? But I had a boyfriend, and I'm very, I'm committed in my relationships, and I said no to Seinfeld.
What?
I said no to Jerry Seinfeld.
What is the deal with you not going out with?
What was I even thinking? I made a bad decision.
Who are these people? Why are you turning down?
I did. I said, well, I'm in a relationship, and and so I didn't go. I said no, and. What a bummer. Well, yeah, I knew his manager very well at one point.
Well, you're too late now. But anyway, he's
yeah, it's a little late now. Yeah, it's too late for me too.
But Curb Your Enthusiasm debuts season 11 on the 24th, so that's coming up. I love the show. I actually think that Curb is kind of like the R-rated version of Seinfeld, but it is so good. Larry David is
so
brilliant.
Good. And I see Larry David around town sometimes. Like, I've seen him at some of the restaurants I've been at. I was at the SoFi Stadium at a football game. He was there. Like, it's so weird seeing somebody like Larry David. And I've seen Eugene Levy around town too. So weird. Like, there's certain actors that you're like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so, no problem, blah, blah, blah. But some of them you just cannot not associate with their character on the show.
And I'm sure Larry David does not want anybody to just come up to him because he's not that. It's like, he probably is really cool, but he was on Kimmel last week or the week before, and he talked about how Kimmel invited him to dinner, and he's like, why are you inviting me to dinner? And he showed up a week before thinking it was the Monday, and he doesn't write anything down.
Yes, I did. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think he's one of those snobby stars.
No.
I really don't. I think he doesn't. If you walk up to him, like, I'm not the kind of person to ever walk up to a celebrity, but I don't. I think he would embrace it in a cute, funny, like making fun of himself way. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
no, I would agree. I think he's. But I love that show for a lot of reasons. I mean, there's such good acting. They're funny. Susie is just the funniest. There is an episode, and we can't say it on the podcast, but what she said. There's an episode where the cook has Tourette's syndrome. And he yells out, this is like probably season 6 maybe, when Larry's opening up a restaurant. And so you got to go back and watch it because Susie yells hilarious curse words. And it's just because
I love Larry's roommate.
Yeah. What's that?
The roommate too. I love Larry's roommate.
Yes. Oh, he's
hilarious.
JB Smooth. JB Smooth. Yes. Look at that.
The episode where they bit into the apple and they broke their teeth. Anyway.
Larry, you got to get in there.
I love him. He's my favorite character aside from Larry, but yes, the two of them are my favorite.
And I also love that Richard Lewis comes on and does his thing, and they are just like, from what Larry says, he says stuff to Richard Lewis, and there's an episode coming, if you watch the preview, he actually says that he could say anything to Richard Lewis. He's one of the only friends that he could just, whatever it is, and it doesn't matter. Like he can, and Rich, he talks about, why don't you just die already? I think that was the, when are you going to die already?
They're friends in real life, I'm sure. Right?
Yeah, they are. I
think all of them probably are. It's one of those shows where they just cast all their friends in it because they're friends and they can be and they're famous. So why not do a show and have the best time of my life, It's kind of like Adam Sandler. He does that with all his people on his show as well. I mean, his movies, every one, if you notice, you'll always find, Steve Buscemi's in it, all these people are in every one of Adam Sandler's movies, you'll always find the same people. Even one of my favorite movies is Wedding Singer. What I love about that movie is that you hear the music from it and automatically it's like, so when my wife and I hear a Billy Idol song, to this day, we still yell, Billy Idol gets it. I don't know why she doesn't get it. Because there's a scene where they're going, well, Glenn only likes possessions and he doesn't whatever. And all of a sudden he's like, yeah, Billy Idol gets it. Again too. Yeah. That's a good one.
It's so good. But if you watch the guy that the limo driver, the one that says there were cones, that guy is in every one of his movies in one way or another. He even played, there was a movie where Mr. Deeds was another funny movie with Winona Ryder and him, and he gets beat up, and it's kind of it's funny. But good movies.
Funny. It's like that on Schitt's Creek. They're all related,
Yeah,
if you knew that.
Yeah, it's and he's doing commercials now. Eugene Levy, they're doing the Verizon commercials, aren't they?
I saw him and his daughter, the woman who plays the waitress in the TV show. They don't play father and daughter in Schitt's Creek, but they are father and daughter.
Yeah. And don't they do that the commercial for? They say, well, we're buying a car, or buying a car or whatever too. Yeah, and
then his son now has become a huge star.
Yeah, it's
just amazing. Yeah, it's really great.
Great stuff. And one show that's coming back, I don't know if you remember it, but L.A. Law. Corbin Bernsen is signed on.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Corbin Bernsen is signed on as well as they've got 2 characters I think have already signed on. But they're on board for the L.A. Law sequel at ABC. He's going to join Blair Underwood, who is coming back.
I want to get back to acting.
Yeah, there you go. You could be on the, you had your movie.
I want to get back. Yeah, I want to act so bad. I did one horror movie with Corey Feldman.
Yes, I did see that.
You're making me want to get back into doing TV.
I want to do it too. So tell you what, I'll write one, and then we can kind of.
Let's just we'll put all our friends in it.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it, right? You got to get all.
The only way to do it.
Yeah. Sorry, we're not cutting her out. She's part of the group.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not cutting her out. So one last thing I wanted to ask you: are being in California, you had issues now because I know there's a drought again, and Governor Newsom has called something with less water. So is this affecting you at all with the water?
Well, I mean, we have our landscaping in our house is sort of that desert type landscaping. So we don't really use a lot of water to begin with. I mean, we do, but not really. But that helps a lot. It helps a lot when you don't really have a lot to water. So that's, yeah. So I don't know. I'm not feeling it so much, because of the way that our house is landscaped. So that's made a huge difference.
Well, good.
But, yeah.
I wouldn't like, droughts are no fun.
No, they're no fun.
Well,
It's bad. So I always tell this to people too. And this is something like when you're throwing away water bottles, always, always, always empty them out.
yes.
Empty the water bottles, put it down the sink, in a plant, on the floor, whatever. But don't trap water in a plastic bottle ever. Because they say like so many gallons of water gets trapped in water bottles and then it's gone forever because it's just trapped. So that's something that, I like to kind of talk about for a second.
Well,
That's why, but a lot of people don't realize.
No,
I throw away the water bottles full of water.
No, I have done that. I think I have done. Here's a perfect. So I do high school football games on the weekend on Fridays, and we get water bottles in the press box, and sometimes you don't finish it, and there's like half a bottle, and you just throw it back. Yeah, I've done it. So I will stop.
Yes. Think about me when you do
Yes.
that. It's true. And I used to do it too. I never, ever, no matter how much more energy, more time it takes, I do it anyways because I just can't not do that now.
Well, Tanya, I could talk to you for hours, but
I know, we
unfortunately,
always have fun.
you're wonderful. I hope you will do this again. Thank you.
will.
I
I
can't
would
believe
love
you've done
to.
it twice. I'm still shocked that you wanted to do this twice. But you can like Len's Burning Bush on Facebook and now at Len's Burning Bush. But now the podcasts are available on Facebook, which is kind of interesting.
I love
yeah,
that.
you can actually go to Facebook and there's Len's Burning Bush podcast. And you can actually download it there. I think is so.
You could do that.
Yeah,
That's
it just happened this week, I think. So,
One question for you. Can I ask you? Before we end?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What inspired the name Len's Burning Bush?
Okay,
Because that can be taken in many different ways.
that is correct, and that's why when you ask Alexa to play it, you want to say Len's Burning Bush podcast. So I was a friend of ours. We were in the living room about 2 years ago. And we were talking, and he was talking about surveys, and I hate surveys. And I was just bitching and moaning, saying that if companies wanted you to, they would just do better. Like that's the way I just don't like having to fill out a survey so that they did better, right? They should just do their job. If they do their job, I'm good, right? So the friend just basically said, hey, you should have a podcast, Len's Burning Bush. He just came up with it.
That name.
Yeah, just Len's Burning Bush, meaning something that's irritating me. It's just burning my bush. So it's kind of
because when you first reached out to have me on your show, I was like, is this X-rated podcast?
Oh
Is
God,
it
yeah. Far from
I
it.
didn't know how to take it, Len. I'm just being honest.
No, I know.
And I'm like, what does that mean? Okay, well, let me just do a pre-interview with him and find out what we're talking about.
Exactly. But it's just things that irritate me, grind my gears, kind of. But Len's Burning Bush. Now, people will also think it's kind of religious overtones because of the Moses logo, right? The whole thing with that.
So it was confusing for me a little bit. But now I got.
Well, I hope you understand it. Well,
I do.
I don't think anybody really does, but we've got 80 episodes of this. I can't believe it. 80 episodes. You can follow at Len's Burning Bush on Twitter. YouTube channel is under Len Harvey. These episodes do appear on YouTube, but just the audio is on YouTube, so you can look at it there as well. As you can mention, you can ask Alexa. We're on Pandora. All of these places. There's countries. There are some listeners in Canada. Thanks to you probably that we've got some listeners in Canada that are listening. And I really appreciate you doing this. It's so wonderful. You are wonderful.
You.
More and more. It's great. We can keep doing this all day. But
I love it.
Yeah, but thank you, Tanya Memme. I'm Len Harvey. Back with another episode of Len's Burning Bush next week. So long.